Think about a time when someone hurt you. Perhaps a friend let you down, or someone made a mean comment that stayed with you all day. It's easy to feel anger bubbling inside when these things happen. You might want to respond in kind. Maybe imagine confronting that person, saying something sharp or even striking back in some way. This is how many people react, with anger and resentment. It's natural, but is it really the best way to find peace? Today, we will talk about a powerful teaching from Jesus: if someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other. At first glance, these words may sound strange or even impossible. Turning the other cheek feels like giving up or letting someone walk all over you. But let's dig deeper into what Jesus meant and how this message can change our lives. Imagine living in a world where honor and personal dignity were everything. In Jesus' time, being struck was not just a physical action, it was an attack on your very being and reputation. People fought fiercely to defend their honor. When Jesus said to turn the other cheek, he wasn't suggesting that we accept abuse silently. Instead, he was offering an alternative, a way that challenges the cycle of violence and bitterness. By turning the other cheek, we reclaim power in our response. It sends a message that refuses to engage in conflict the same way as before. Instead of reacting with hatred or seeking revenge, we choose love and understanding, even in painful moments. This teaching invites us to consider a different path, the path of forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not simply forgetting what happened or letting someone get away with hurtful actions. Rather, it's about freeing ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment that can weigh us down. In our own lives, we face daily conflicts, whether it's with family members who misunderstand us or friends who don't seem to care enough. Forgiveness doesn't mean we pretend those issues don't exist. Instead, it means approaching them with an open heart and mind. It teaches us that peace comes not from holding on to grudges but from letting go and choosing a different response. As we reflect on these ideas today, let's ask ourselves, who do I need to forgive? What relationship can I heal by turning my own cheek? Perhaps there's someone who has hurt you recently or even a long-standing grudge you've been carrying around for years. Imagine how light you would feel if you chose forgiveness over anger. Think of your heart opening up like petals of a flower after the rain, fresh and ready to embrace joy again. So as we journey through today's teaching from Jesus, let's remember, turning the other cheek is not weakness, it's a brave choice toward peace and healing, both for ourselves and for those around us. As we continue exploring Jesus' powerful message, let's focus more deeply on his words: if someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other. This teaching comes from the Gospel of Matthew, and it serves as a profound challenge to how we typically respond to conflict. Picture this: you're in an argument with a friend. They say something hurtful, and your first instinct is to retaliate. It's almost automatic, our emotions take over, pushing us to hit back, whether it's with words or even just distancing ourselves. This reaction is something many of us have experienced. Jesus understood human nature, and he saw how easy it was to fall into this cycle of retaliation. But here's where his teaching takes a radical turn. Instead of following the common path of anger and revenge, Jesus invites us to take a different approach. He suggests that turning the other cheek can break this cycle. You might wonder why anyone would want to do this. It seems so counterintuitive. After all, aren't we taught to defend ourselves? Shouldn't we stand up against those who hurt us? In Jesus' time, striking someone was not merely physical, it attacked their honor and dignity. To be struck on the right cheek would often mean it was a slap, an insult rather than just violence. This teaches us that there's deeper meaning behind relying solely on our fists or harsh words. By turning the other cheek, we are actually inviting a conversation rather than escalating conflict. It flips the script entirely. Now let's think about what it means for us today. Imagine if you faced conflicts by responding with patience instead of anger. Rather than writing someone off after a hurtful comment, consider giving them another chance, like offering a second opportunity to connect. It's about reclaiming power over our reactions and choosing love instead. This message is often tough to embrace because it goes against our instincts. We live in a world that sometimes glorifies being tough and standing our ground at all costs. But Jesus shows us that there's strength in vulnerability. Real courage lies in forgiving and seeking understanding even when it's difficult. Forgiveness doesn't mean we ignore or excuse the behavior that caused us pain. It means recognizing that holding on to anger only harms ourselves in the long run. We actively choose not to let resentment take root in our hearts. Embracing forgiveness frees us from bitterness, allowing joy and peace to flourish once again. As you reflect on this teaching from Jesus today, ask yourself, how many times have I been quick to react with anger? Who do I need to offer my other cheek? The beauty of this message lies not just in its wisdom but in its ability to transform lives one moment at a time. Remember that each time you choose forgiveness over conflict, you're taking steps not only toward personal healing but also toward fostering deeper connections with others around you. Turning the other cheek is not simply an act of submission, it's a courageous step toward creating harmony where there once was discord, and that's truly radical. To truly understand Jesus' teaching of, if someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other, we need to take a step back into the culture of his time. The world in which Jesus lived was not just shaped by laws but by deeply ingrained beliefs about honor and shame. In those days, every interaction was often influenced by a person's reputation and status within their community. Imagine a society where your dignity could be instantly stripped away with a single insult or an act of aggression. Honor was everything. A slap to the face wasn't just a physical blow, it was a deliberate act meant to humiliate. In this context, being struck on the right cheek would not only injure you physically but would also aim to tarnish your reputation. In such a culture, responding with anger or retaliation was not only common, it was expected. Defending one's honor was paramount, and failure to do so could lead to social ostracism or loss of respect. So when Jesus said to turn the other cheek, he introduced an entirely new approach, a radical departure from societal norms. Instead of upholding the expectation for revenge or defending one's honor at all costs, he invited people to choose a path of peace and reconciliation. You see, turning the other cheek wasn't about submitting to violence, it was about reclaiming dignity in a powerful way. By offering the other cheek, you were not showing weakness but rather embodying strength and confidence in your identity that couldn't be shaken by others' actions. This act challenges the aggressor to question their own behavior. Suddenly, they aren't left feeling triumphant, but instead faced with discomfort at your unexpected response. It turns the dynamic around. Rather than allowing aggression to escalate into further violence, you take a stand in a different way. It's essential to recognize that during Jesus' time, many believed that revenge solidified status and reinforced personal power. By suggesting an alternative route through love and understanding, he redefined what it meant to be powerful, as someone who chooses forgiveness over conflict. This radical message resonated not just in his time but continues to echo today. We face situations where reacting in anger might feel justified. We may feel pressure to stand our ground in conflicts, whether with friends, family, or co-workers. The teachings of Jesus challenge us to consider if we're really fighting for what's right or simply perpetuating cycles of hurt. As we reflect on this historical context today, let's think about how this teaching can apply in our lives. When conflicts arise, are we willing to turn the other cheek? Can we approach tensions with grace instead of bitterness? Embracing this mindset can unlock transformative experiences, not just for ourselves but for those around us as well. Remember that each time we choose love over retaliation, we are not just breaking away from tradition, we're creating new possibilities for healing and connection in our relationships. The call to turn the other cheek is indeed radical, but it can change lives when we have the courage to live it out. As we dive deeper into Jesus' powerful teaching, if someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other, it's important to unpack what it truly means to turn the other cheek. Many people mistakenly interpret this phrase as a call for passivity or weakness. But I want to assure you that this message is anything but weak. In fact, it represents a courageous and impactful stance of love and forgiveness. Let's visualize a situation. Imagine being in a heated disagreement, perhaps with someone you care about deeply. They say something hurtful that stings, leaving you feeling angry and wronged. In that moment, the natural instinct may be to retaliate, to strike back with words or actions that match their aggression. But here's where turning the other cheek comes into play. It's not about allowing yourself to be a doormat, it's about choosing a response that breaks the cycle of anger. When Jesus spoke these words, he was inviting us to take a stand, just not in the way we might expect. By turning the other cheek, you're not surrendering your dignity or accepting mistreatment. Instead, you're showcasing a strength that rises above negativity. It's an act of defiance against the culture of retaliation. You're saying, I refuse to let this moment define me or my relationships. Turning the other cheek signifies a refusal to engage in a back-and-forth cycle of hurtful exchanges. It's an invitation for dialogue and understanding rather than escalating hostility. This action can feel daunting, especially since our society often teaches us that we must defend ourselves fiercely, no matter the cost. But Jesus was redefining power for us, showing that true strength lies in our ability to forgive and choose peace over conflict. Consider this: when you choose to turn the other cheek, you are inviting others to reflect on their own actions. They may not expect this kind of response and might feel compelled to reconsider how they treat you. This simple yet profound act creates an opportunity for healing, not just for yourself but also for them. It allows space for understanding and connection where there could have been division. Moreover, turning the other cheek can lead to unexpected transformations in relationships. Instead of deepening resentment and anger, this act of forgiveness can foster compassion and empathy. You begin to model what it means to live in harmony, even when faced with conflict. As we ponder Jesus' message today, let's ask ourselves, are we ready to embrace this radical way of loving? Who in our lives could benefit from our willingness to turn the other cheek? Perhaps it's someone we've clashed with recently or someone we hold a grudge against. In a world where anger often fuels our interactions, choosing love through forgiveness can feel revolutionary. Let's remember that each moment we decide to turn the other cheek is an act of courage, one that has the power to heal wounds and restore relationships in ways we may not even fully understand. So as we move forward in our lives, let's commit to embodying this teaching each day. Let's practice turning the other cheek, not as an act of weakness, but as a profound expression of strength and compassion that can change both our hearts and the world around us. As we reflect on the power of forgiveness, let's dive into real-life stories that illustrate just how transformative this practice can be. Forgiveness is not just a lofty ideal, it has the potential to change lives and heal deep wounds. Let's start with a story about a man named John. John had a rocky relationship with his father for most of his life due to years of emotional neglect and harsh words. When John's father passed away, he was filled with a mix of anger and regret. He realized that holding on to resentment was weighing him down. So, in a moment of clarity, John chose to forgive his father, not for him but for himself. He began writing letters to express his feelings, both the pain and the love he still held for his dad. This act of forgiveness didn't erase the past or mean that John condoned his father's behavior, rather, it allowed him to release the burden he had been carrying. Through this process, John discovered healing in his heart and felt lighter than he had in years. This choice transformed how he viewed not only his father but also himself, as he learned that forgiveness is not weakness, but an empowering act of strength. Now consider the story of Maria, who faced betrayal from her best friend. After years of friendship, she discovered that her friend had shared private information about her with others. The hurt cut deep, and Maria felt an overwhelming urge for revenge. However, after reflecting on her choice, she decided to confront her friend instead of retaliating. When Maria met her friend, she expressed how the betrayal made her feel without attacking or blaming. This honest conversation opened up a path for understanding and reconciliation. Her friend apologized sincerely and expressed regret for her actions. In choosing forgiveness over revenge, Maria not only mended their friendship but also grew as an individual who could confront difficult emotions with grace. These stories serve as powerful reminders that forgiveness can lead to profound change, not just within ourselves but also in our relationships with others. When we choose to forgive, we break free from the chains of bitterness and anger that can hold us captive for far too long. It's essential to recognize that forgiveness doesn't mean we forget what happened or let others off the hook. It means we decide not to let past hurts define our present or future. It allows us to reclaim our power and choose love over resentment. As we ponder these examples today, let's think about our own lives. Who might we need to forgive? Maybe it's a family member who has hurt us or a friend who has let us down. Perhaps it's even ourselves. We often forget that self-forgiveness is just as important as forgiving others. In a world where conflict often reigns supreme, choosing forgiveness can feel like swimming against the current. Yet each time we take that brave step forward, we set off ripples of healing and hope, not just for ourselves but for those around us as well. So as you go about your day today, remember the stories of John and Maria. Let them inspire you to embrace forgiveness in your own life, a practice that can transform hearts and relationships in ways you may never have imagined possible. As we continue our exploration of forgiveness, let's look at the ultimate example of embodying this teaching, Jesus Christ himself. Throughout his life, Jesus modeled what it means to turn the other cheek and choose love over anger, especially during the most trying moments leading up to his crucifixion. Imagine for a moment the scene in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus knows what is about to unfold. He feels immense pressure and turmoil, yet he chooses to pray for strength. When the soldiers arrive to arrest him, he is surrounded by betrayal from those closest to him. One of his disciples, Judas, had betrayed him with a kiss, a sign of friendship turned hostile. In that moment of betrayal, many would expect Jesus to react with anger or revenge. After all, he was innocent of any wrongdoing, yet what does he do? Instead of retaliating or cursing those who came to take him away, Jesus remains calm and composed. He even heals the ear of a soldier who was injured during the scuffle, demonstrating profound compassion in the face of violence. This theme continues as Jesus is put on trial, falsely accused and mocked by those around him. Picture the weight of those moments, being spat upon and ridiculed while knowing your purpose and the love you hold for humanity. Still, he refuses to lash out. Instead, he embodies grace and understanding. When we move to the crucifixion itself, Jesus' words resonate powerfully. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Here is a man suffering unimaginable pain and humiliation who chooses forgiveness over anger. His declaration isn't just for those present at that moment, it's a timeless message extending to us today. In his darkest hour, Jesus exemplifies turning the other cheek, not as an act of weakness but as a demonstration of divine strength and love. Through his actions and words, Jesus invites us into a much deeper understanding of forgiveness, the kind that transforms hearts and changes lives. By forgiving those who wronged him, he breaks the cycle of violence and resentment that can grip human hearts. This radical love invites us to reflect on our own struggles with forgiveness. Are we holding on to grudges? Are we seeking revenge instead of reconciliation? As we think about Jesus' example today, let's consider how we can apply this lesson in our lives. When confronted with conflict or betrayal, whether from friends, family, or even strangers, can we find it in our hearts to respond with love instead of anger? Can we practice forgiveness in small daily interactions? This does not mean condoning harmful behavior, it means releasing ourselves from the burden of bitterness. Remember that each time we choose forgiveness over retaliation, we are following in the footsteps of Jesus. We are embracing a transformative power that can heal not only our wounds but also pave the way for healing in others. So as you go through your day today, let's draw inspiration from Jesus' example. Let us commit to turning the other cheek, not just as followers but as vessels for change in a world that desperately needs more love and understanding. Each step toward forgiveness is a step towards a brighter future, for ourselves and for everyone around us. As we reflect on the powerful teachings about forgiveness that Jesus shared, it's essential to ask ourselves a crucial question: how can we apply this wisdom in our daily lives? It may seem overwhelming at times, but taking small steps can lead to significant change. Here are some practical ways you can embody this message and turn the other cheek in your own life. First, let's start with small acts of kindness. Simple gestures can make a big difference in someone's day and also help shift your mindset towards forgiveness. Try complimenting a friend or family member when they least expect it. A sincere, "I appreciate you," or "you did a great job," can light up someone else's world, while also reminding you of the goodness in your relationships. This simple act not only promotes positivity but also helps dissolve any lingering resentment or negativity you might be holding onto. Another effective step is to practice active listening. When conflicts arise, we often jump straight to defending our point of view or reacting emotionally. Instead, take a moment to really listen to the other person's feelings and perspective. Acknowledging their emotions does not mean you have to agree with them, it simply shows that you value their thoughts. This act of empathy opens the door for healing and understanding, creating space for dialogue instead of animosity. Letting go of grudges is another vital part of applying Jesus' teaching. Take a moment to reflect on any past hurts that continue to burden you. Maybe it's an argument with a friend or a misunderstanding at work. Consider writing a letter, whether you send it or not, to express your feelings about the situation. Write down what happened, how it made you feel, and ultimately state that you choose to move forward without that weight holding you down. When written words are transformed into tangible actions, we find empowerment and release from those heavy chains of resentment. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior but rather freeing yourself from the grip of anger so you can heal. Think about people who have wronged you. Can you find it within yourself to forgive them, even if it's just in your heart? Practicing self-forgiveness is equally important. Recognize that we all make mistakes and carry baggage from our pasts. By forgiving ourselves, we cultivate a healthy inner voice, allowing us to treat others with kindness and understanding. And lastly, don't underestimate the power of prayer or meditation. Taking time each day to reflect on your emotions can help process feelings and encourage a more forgiving heart. Use this time to ask for strength in forgiving others and finding peace within yourself. As we move through our daily routines, let's remember that every moment presents an opportunity to choose love over anger. It's in those choices that we reflect Jesus' teachings, the ability to break cycles of hurt and heal both ourselves and those around us. So as we step forward today, consider these practical applications of turning the other cheek in action. Whether through small acts of kindness, practicing active listening, letting go of grudges, or embracing moments of self-reflection, each choice brings us closer to embodying the radical nature of love and forgiveness that Jesus so beautifully demonstrated for us all. As we bring our focus to the heart of forgiveness, let's take a moment to reflect on our own experiences with conflict. Conflict is an inevitable part of human relationships. It can arise from misunderstandings, unmet expectations, or even deeper issues that have lingered for years. Think back to a time when someone hurt you. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed your trust or a family member who caused you pain. How did that make you feel? Did you respond with anger or resentment, or did you find a way to heal? Jesus' message about turning the other cheek challenges us to look at these painful moments differently. It invites each of us to examine who we might need to forgive and how that act of forgiveness could transform our lives. This isn't just about releasing the other person from blame, it's also about freeing ourselves. Holding on to grudges can feel heavy, like carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each reminder of past hurts adds weight, making it harder to move forward. Now, let's take a moment to consider those individuals in our lives who may have wronged us. Who fits that description for you? Is it someone you are still angry with? It might be difficult to pen down those feelings of hurt, but what if you could find the strength within yourself to let go? Ask yourself, how has holding on to this pain affected your life? Has it interfered with your current relationships or your ability to find joy in everyday moments? Imagine for a moment what your life could look like if you chose forgiveness. Picture meeting that person again, not filled with anger but with a desire for understanding. When Jesus forgave those who wronged him, even in his darkest moments, he offered us a profound lesson on the power of love over hate. Each act of forgiveness opens the door for deeper connections and richer experiences in our lives. Let's not forget the role of self-forgiveness in this journey. We are all flawed, making mistakes as we navigate through life. Reflect on times when you have been hard on yourself. Did guilt or shame hold you back from moving forward? Allow yourself to acknowledge those feelings but then release them. Recognize that you deserve the same compassion and understanding that you offer to others. As we reflect today, I encourage you to think about specific steps you can take towards forgiveness. You might start with a simple prayer or write a letter, one that you want to send or even just keep for yourself, to express your feelings openly. Sharing your thoughts can free up emotional baggage and lighten your heart. Above all, remember that forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It takes time and effort, but each small step matters. By inviting forgiveness into your life, you're engaging in a powerful process of healing, one that can illuminate your path and strengthen your relationships. Southwest, as we close today, consider these reflections. Who do you need to forgive? How can freeing yourself from past hurts open doors to new possibilities? Embrace the call to turn the other cheek and choose love over anger. Each act of forgiveness not only transforms your own heart but also has the potential to change the world around you, for yourself, for those you love, and even for those who may have caused you pain. The choice is yours. Choose love, and watch how it blossoms into something truly beautiful. As we draw our journey on forgiveness to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the overarching strength that lies within this practice. It can sometimes feel daunting to forgive, especially when our hearts have been hurt. Yet, the message Jesus shared about turning the other cheek is not just about an act of submission, it's a bold declaration of love and resilience. Think back to the examples we've discussed, the moments of personal conflict and the struggles we all face in letting go of anger and resentment. Remember, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it's an incredible strength that can heal both ourselves and those around us. When we forgive, we are choosing to step away from cycles of hurt. We transform the narrative of our pain into one of hope and possibility. Imagine what it means to turn the other cheek in your own life. Visualize an encounter where someone has wronged you, perhaps a friend has betrayed your trust or a colleague has undermined your efforts. Instead of reacting in anger, what if you approach that individual with compassion? By doing so, you create a ripple effect that may not only soften your heart but also challenge others to reconsider their actions. Forgiveness allows us to transcend the barriers that conflict erects between us. It opens doors to healing that may have seemed permanently closed. This doesn't mean we ignore wrongdoings or tolerate harmful behavior, rather, it's about choosing to rise above them. When Jesus forgave those who crucified him, even in his final moments, he demonstrated that love is stronger than hate. His example calls us to embrace this radical notion of forgiveness in our daily lives. Let's take this moment to reflect on what it means to embrace forgiveness as a way forward. Picture how releasing those burdens could change your life. Holding on to anger feels heavy and can weigh us down like a boulder strapped to our backs. But when we choose forgiveness, we are lightening that load. We reclaim our power and open ourselves up to new possibilities for joy, connection, and renewed hope. As you consider your own journey with forgiveness, think of specific instances where you might let go of past grievances. Who do you need to forgive? How would your life look differently if you chose love over resentment? Each step toward forgiveness is a step toward healing, and not just for yourself, but also for those you choose to forgive. So as we move forward from today, keep in mind the transformative power of forgiveness. Every time we turn the other cheek, we embody a strength that reflects Jesus' teachings, a strength that can revive relationships and nurture peace in our world. Let this be an invitation for each of us to practice forgiveness in our everyday lives. Whether through simple acts of kindness or heartfelt conversations, every effort counts. Together, let us commit to fostering a spirit of love, understanding, and reconciliation, not only for ourselves but for everyone around us. Embrace the hope that comes from these choices. They have the potential to lead to profound transformation in our hearts and in our communities. Remember, forgiveness isn't just an action, it's a powerful journey toward healing and unity, lighting our path as we continue forward together. Choose love over anger, and watch how it inspires change in ways you may never have imagined.